streaming. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. ربنا هب لنا من أزواجنا وذرياتنا قرة أعين واجعلنا للمتقين إماما رب اجعلني مقيم الصلاة ومن ذريتي ربنا وتقبل دعاء ربنا هب لنا من لدنك رحمة وهيئ لنا من أمرنا رشدا وصل اللهم على محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأتباعه وسلم ربنا اغفر لنا وارحمنا وأنت خير الراحمين آمين الحمد لله رب العالمين. Please, let's see what the objections are. Very general objections.
The second objection is that you may not be able to reconcile the Quran's consciousness and elusiveness in the natural facts studied by the physical sciences with its guidance and methods of teaching and education.
What does it say? What is it? Any question?
No, I was trying to follow along.
Yeah, the second objection. But not the first on the page, in our page of 18.
Okay. So you use the word objection, I think. That's right?
I'm just giving it
Okay,
context. Yes,
got it,
there is
got
no word
Okay,
objection.
okay. Sorry, my bad.
No,
Okay, now, what is the objection? Tell us. But it's a long sentence.
that it may be difficult to reconcile what we see in the universe around us with the guidance as given in the Quran.
There's a Quran's conciseness and elusiveness in the about subject. Where is the objection really centers?
That it's hard to see
In the text,
reconcile the Quran's consciousness
and
elusiveness
yeah,
in the natural facts studied by physical sciences.
reconcile it between Quran and natural facts studied by the physical sciences.
With its guidance and methods of teaching and education.
Its guidance and its whose?
The Quran.
Quran's guidance and methods of teaching and education, because the Quran is a teacher. Now, we will read the reply to this objection, but we have to understand that the Quran must be concise and elusive. How do you say elusive in another word? Elusive means what? What does it mean, elusive?
Difficult to attain, difficult to capture.
Now, does it come from eluding, hinting, elusive?
Alluding.
Right?
Alluding. A-L-L.
I don't follow.
There are two separate words.
Yeah.
Elusive with an E, which
Yeah.
means difficult to capture.
I see.
Like a rabbit.
Elusive.
If you tried to catch a rabbit will run away, right?
Yeah.
So that's elusive.
Hmm.
Alluding with an A, hinting.
No, so it has nothing to do with alluding. But
Somebody may know more than me, but I think they're separate things.
Elusive means somehow, elusive, difficult to understand at first glance. Okay, I got it now. Thank you. So, natural facts. It is difficult, as the objection says, we cannot really reconcile between the two. Natural facts are not mentioned in the Quran. Do I understand it rightly? The the objection.
I mean, what I'm understanding that there's almost two parts of it, is that one, the concise matter of speech that the Quran has is difficult to reconcile or express or align it with the concrete, I guess, sciences, concrete nature of the facts presented by physical sciences. And along with that, the guidance and method of teaching. So the first part I'm understanding as, how does the way in which the Quran is speaking match with the concrete fact nature of physical sciences?
Yeah, because Quran never goes into detail.
Right.
Especially about, not before everything else, but especially about natural facts. It means what the universe is presenting to us. It's not really easy to reconcile or see the congruence between them. I'm clear. And the objection, as it is stated here, seems to be correct. It seems to be, because we have to go back the understanding in the objection. The answer must have this. What is the purpose of the sciences which studies the natural facts? What is the purposes of the Quran? Why are we studying this? What was our subject? What have we been studying?
To question the doubts, or I guess the doubts that arise as we question the legitimacy and divinity of the message in Quran.
No, that is suddenly subject turn to this. But the main subject is
Messengership.
Proof of,
messengership. And particularly now we are studying
Messengership of Prophet Muhammad.
Muhammad. But we are trying to understand whether Muhammad was really a messenger. The text somehow referred to the personality of Muhammad. Briefly, now, alluded to the, I'm using the word and learning, alluded to the conditions of his geography and historical context. And then the subject turned to the Quran. Why? Because as people in the 21st century, we cannot really experience all those, if you like, in quote-unquote claims about the person and his historical context. We cannot really experience it. What we can experience is miraculous characteristics and some events that were really very miraculous and witnessed by the people. But ultimately, I say that is narrated, and everybody wants to elevate the state of its hero, put it up and up, exaggerations. It seems to be fair, but it may happen. But as far as I'm concerned now, what will make me sure that this person was really employed by God? Of course,
Yes, I think if you can verify the message, you can verify the messenger.
Yeah, if the message is, first of all, consistent, no flaw in it, and the purpose of the message is really fulfilled within the message itself. The purpose has been fulfilled. And the nature of the message is such that convinces the people's, in other people's rational understanding. It's very important. Rational understanding of the message which ultimately makes sense to them. Then we will say, this person is not speaking from himself, because if he was, he would only be able, at the most, convince the people of his own time. No more. Because everybody agrees that no one can know what the future will bring. Now, we will study the answer or reply to this objection. We will read and study. But we have to understand that although we are talking about the Quran, but the subject is not essentially about the Quran. If we are convinced that the Quran really fulfills its mission as it claims to be the divine guidance, divine guidance must be comprehensive of time and space in the future, which is not possible for any human being. So if this message meets this requirement, then we will say the one who came up with this message, brought this message, presented this message to me, must be guided by a divine source. That's what I am. Then how I can be comfortable about the claim of the person who's called Muhammad, that he is a messenger only. He doesn't claim anything. That I know I am a bright guy, I studied very well, I'm very smart. No, I'm not interested in his personal qualities as such, but I'm very much interested in his characters, whether he's a twisted man, or he's just cheating people around, or being unfair to his community, or practicing a kind of authority in a dictatorship position. Well, of course, it goes against human expectations for a person who is honorable, who is honest in his name. I should not see any crook character in him. But apart from his character, as it is narrated, of course, well, I don't know the person, I've never seen him. As it is narrated, apart from his character, what I can judge him, first, of course, the historical person must be studied within the historical conditions. It means, how can you study a matter which happened 1,000 years ago? Depending on historical narrations. So try to verify it if you can. But main reason for me to understand that this person was an honest person in his claim to be the messenger of God. It means he has been given divine message. I have to check the message and see the consistency in the message, consistency with its claim. Okay. Now we can, I think, go to the reply.
An explanation for the second objection. This was elaborated upon in the second premise. Creation has a tendency to perfection and humankind to progress. Sciences are the fruits of this tendency, and they have come into being by experiences and research, supporting and providing a basis for one another over the course of time. They have not come into being all of a sudden, nor are they independent of one another. Like both eccentric and concentric circles, they intersect and overlap one within the other. The conclusions are drawn based on the foundations that were laid earlier. This means that a science which is still in the stage of formation will be a developed one in the future and provide a basis for new development and the birth of new sciences.
Yeah. First, in this paragraph, what did the author present it here? In which part of the matter? Not the Quran's content, but what is expected of science. So can you summarize it? Usually somebody is really asking something about the
I guess what I understand is that science is on its way to,
today's Saturday, is it?
yes,
Okay. Yeah, good.
okay. So science is on its way to kind of understand creation or the perfection or perhaps the fact in creation. And the only way that it can do it is by, I guess, diagnosing and questioning the experiences that I guess we face. And that can only happen over the course of time, as the text says, basically meaning by more and more experiences, we can continue that journey.
Yeah. Now, go back to the text, and text says something very interesting. The first sentence, forget about it. It gives a reference to something else. Now we are not going to go back to that. But the following sentence, can you read it? It's a very sensitive sentence. Following sentence. Not the one. Yeah.
Creation has a tendency to perfection and humankind to progress.
Now, it's very interesting. What does it say? Creation has a tendency to perfection. Do you think the evolutionist people are right? Or those people who follow the evolution idea? They say the creation is, they don't say creation, but the universe, the things, perfect themselves. They have the tendency within themselves to perfection. What do you think? Why not? But I'm playing here. Why not?
The tendency to perfection has to come from somewhere. It can't exist in the creation in and of itself.
So you are using the word creation on purpose. If you use, the text says creation. If we say the things themselves, that's the main argument.
Mm-hmm.
The things themselves has a tendency to perfection, or creation has a tendency to perfection. Would you like to add something to this?
I would like to add that you use the word evolution, and part of evolution is the idea of natural selection. But the organisms follow the law of natural selection. It's not that it's not innate in itself.
Yeah.
This is what I'm
It is.
following.
It's
It's following created order.
order.
So natural
It's
selection
order.
is created.
Yeah.
The laws of
So-
evolution are created, not coming from the organism
From
itself.
from itself.
Yes.
by itself, from
Yes.
itself.
So
So,
this is the
but
fallacy.
that's the, no, the word, I'm confused, I'm not very sure. Illusion.
Illusion.
Illusion
Yes.
of the people who want to prove that the things themselves, now actually they don't want to prove that the things themselves, they want to disprove that this is done by an external agent.
Yes.
They are trying to disprove that the universe is going to or developing into perfection by itself, not an external agent, external to the matter itself. That's why they hate the word creation. Why? I think this is a very important subject. Why? Because if it is an act of creation, then it means something is brought into existence by an agent, creating them, giving them existence. No, if it is an act of creation, then they cannot really disprove that the things are being in this world and developing themselves into perfection by themselves.
Disprove or prove?
No, disprove. Disprove that the things are coming into existence and aiming at perfection by an external act.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's their aim. As I understand, their aim is not really to prove that the things themselves are developing. Disprove that there is no external. There is a difference between this. If someone tries to make sure or prove that the things themselves are developing or developing in perfection, then they have to show the ability, capacity to do it themselves. So they never mention about capacity. What they say, what we observe, it is moving, it is producing, it is adapting. All the agent is,
Acting.
sorry, all the agents, it is. It means
The thing itself.
the thing itself. But if they openly say that the thing is the real agent, they have to show the capacity in the thing itself. But they don't. What they do is very important that we have to notice this and we have to keep repeating this point actually. What they do, I see it is happening. We see it is happening. It is producing. Now, some water is coming, something, I don't know, substance is coming out of this. Some things are moving by themselves, right? You can say, what? While I'm speaking, my tongue is moving. Is it not moving? Yeah, my mouth is moving. My breathing or inhaling and exhaling actions are happening. So, who is speaking? Who's making the speech? Combination of various agents acting together. It happened to be like this. Not me. What the materialist approach claim. It is within the capacity of the things themselves that it happened to be. in this way, developed in this way, in order to produce speech.
As far as the materialistic or physical like worldview is concerned, the observation as far as let's say like how a speech produced.
For example, I'm making it on purpose.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how the speech is person, but the meta is acting as an example. Make it a clear example for me. For example, now a speech is going on. Okay.
So
that's why I shifted as an evidence for rationality.
Right. No, it's a good example. I think it's relatable. So as far as the speech or the sound of speech is concerned, the observable fact is that it is multiple, let's not use the word agents, but things interacting with one another that are resulting in a sound. That doesn't seem to be wrong as far as the observable fact is concerned. Now, if you say, does my tongue have the will to create the sound?
Capacity.
Or capacity.
In general, any capacity. My
Right.
tongue, I don't know, throat
and
mouth shape, teeth, lips.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So if we were to break each of these things down and study them in silos, like individually, then as far as the question of will is concerned, or capacity, sorry, does the tongue, does the tongue have the capacity to produce sound? Then no, it's muscle as I observe it.
And also, would you like to add something on the same line?
No, go ahead.
That I was excited. And also, although they don't have the capacity, any capacity to organize themselves, but as it seems to be, they are working together. But when you say, do they have will to work together? Do they have consciousness that we are going to make sound? It is important. But science never mentions the speech as meaning. Terrorists.
What do you mean by speech has
meaning? The sound has meaning.
You mean that
sound is okay. For example, this is a sound.
Yeah.
But when I speak, it's not a sound. It has a meaning, transferring the message to somebody else. When I speak, it's a language, and meaningful language. So when you say, do they have capacity to produce this sound? Physically, it seems to be they are the agents. I'm not hesitating to use. Seems to be agents, because my lip, my teeth, my tongue, the air or breathing in it, exhaling, inhaling, activity, I wouldn't make sound. Yeah. Or there would be no sound. Okay, that's correct. But are they the agents collaborating together to make the sound? There is no evidence. Agent to come to this conclusion, combining and making the sound. They lack the capacity to be the agent, the source of existence of the sound. That is one.
I just want to take this a little bit step further. So I'm questioning this for myself. So I can say that the tongue is not the agent in creating the sound or in producing the sound. However, in my bodily existence, it seems that whatever is controlling, or what seems to be controlling, is my will to speak. The fact that I'm choosing to speak results in my tongue exhaling and inhaling at the same time, and like the sound, the producing of the sound.
Mhm.
So can I attribute that to my will then?
I don't know, it is too early.
Okay.
Too early to go back to your will. But what we physically observe, as the scientists say, when I heard the sound coming out of somebody's mouth, I go there and see the agent factors. Yeah. If there was no tongue, would there be any sound?
No.
If there was no air, would there be any sound? If there was no lip, would there be any different tones of sound? Okay. These are the source of the existence of sound. The conclusion of the scientist is the trick. Trick is there. When you ask them, do they have the will to function in harmony? The text will say somewhere, it's very interesting. But I don't know where was it. I remember reading it.
Are you talking about the circles?
Now, circles and concentric circles.
Eccentric.
Sorry?
So like both eccentric and concentric circles.
Circles. It means totally, completely in harmony with each other. And how are we going to make a complete harmony with each other if you don't have free will? Choosing. Then you have to know that I'm going to produce a sound. Now, we are talking about sound now, not human speech with a meaningful sentence, just sound. Now, they never question the quality. What they talk about is very simple. I see how they are happening, how it is happening. I see how it is happening, especially going in biology and going into the cell and the nucleus, and within the nucleus, DNA functioning, this kind of thing. Oh, this is how it is happening there. How it is happening there. No, don't let me say.
I'm sorry.
How it is happening there. But the language is extremely important. While they are explaining how the things are happening, they assign an agent. The factor that causes that thing happen there by using a very ambiguous language. It is happening. What is the agent there?
The thing itself.
The thing itself. Does it have a quality? We are not interested in that subject. We are just interested in how the things are happening. But why do you say it is happening then if you are not interested in anything meaning-wise or explanation, but you are using a language? Why don't you offer something to this poor guy? He came here for two of them. Yeah. I think you came here for this brown.
I did, yes.
So they assign an agent with a very cunning way, in a cunning way, that you swallow it. People swallow it. It is raining. It is bright today. It is sunny. It is cloudy. It's snowing. It's cold. It's warm. Agent is it. You see, trick. Very simple. Have they demonstrated at all, even one single event, that when they say it that it has the quality to do that. Is there? Never see it. I'm crazy about this subject because I know that the future will be on this subject. Main philosophical, if you like, how do you say, storm will be on this subject in the future. And science will declare bankruptcy. I'm sure it will declare either this century or next century. And the human beings ask the question, does it have the quality to do that?
Can you expand on what you mean by quality in this instance?
Can you sit outside the door if it is possible? Come in there and ask people, what are you eating? It smells when you enter. Yeah. Okay. What are quality?
Because
the agent, if you attribute an action
okay.
to an agent, the first thing human mind asks what?
What is creating it or what is doing it?
No, the agent.
Right.
Yeah. What is it? For example, if you see it's the building, very simple example, of course. The examples must be simple. And there is a baby just lying in a plum. Yeah, it's a newborn baby. And if someone comes to you, this building has been made by this baby, what do you say?
Mine would not accept that.
As a human being, not as a believer also, as a human being. So why don't you accept that?
Observing the baby's capacity.
Quality. Yeah.
So when you say quality, this might be just semantics, but when you're saying quality, are you meaning that the ability or the capacity to do such an act? Like, can it be the agent?
Yeah. Can it be the agent?
Okay.
But the quality, you say no. Yeah, you say no. Because you don't see any quality or capacity to act in a way that the result of this action must be in the form of a building. Yeah. So what is happening now, whether it is inside the atom and also theoretically particles, or inside the cell, or DNA, or the genes in DNA, or RNA, whatever they say, lots of technical words. But whatever is happening, the technical words are not important. So whatever they are claiming, they claim that it is happening. Look, for example, if I don't know anything about the water supply system or electrical power supply system, I put the switch on, the light is up there, you see it. When I turn the switch off, light goes away. I assign the agency to the switch. Why? It is happening when I push it on, the light comes. When I push it off, when I push the switch off, light goes. Now, agent is the switch. When I turn the tap, so faucet, it's very simple. Faucet, water starts running. So I would say, using a scientific language, faucet is producing water. Why? It is happening in this way. It is what I see in the lab. Here is the tap. Here is I'm turning it on, although I am turning it on, but it turns on itself because there is no external agent in their explanation. it turns on itself. Let's say it's automatic. Okay? When I put my hand, not automatic, electrical, monitored by electrical circuit. So when I put my hand and moving object, it starts running. So they are combining together. Yeah? They work together. My hand coming next to it, and it is running. But I say, the science says, it is running when it encounters with a motion. Correct? Yeah? When the motion is detected by the system, I don't know how is it called, electrical system or now, when it is, when it detects, because it has the capacity to detect, it is made in this way. So science doesn't speak in this way. So it says, as the hand comes there, faucet starts producing water. Right or wrong? How it is, it's a scientific fact. But how they explain what's going on in cell is this. What they do, they never say that whether faucet itself can be the agent of this action. But they say, no, don't go into that aspect of the matter. What do you see fact in the lab? Scientific fact. The object approaches the faucet, moves, and it faucet starts producing water. Right? I'm explaining what's happening in the cell or in the DNA. Do you follow the logic that the people are following? You want to say?
I was wondering, so in terms of the example of the faucet, let's say, can we say that in as much as I observe
Yeah.
the mechanism, the faucet being there,
Yeah, whatever happened.
sure, is a necessary condition within
Yeah.
the observable order, but it's not sufficient enough for the production of whatever the effect that I'm observing.
Yes, of course, if there was no faucet, it's a bit well put. If there was no faucet, if there was no detector installed in the faucet system, if there was no moving object within the field of the detection of the faucet, it would set in this way. Now, the water wouldn't come. So they say scientific fact is, we see that something approaches it, it suddenly sticks. You see this? This explanation, are you familiar with this? When they come together, they stick each other.
I'm sorry,
in the cell,
so-
some metals, when they come together, they stick each other, they start functioning together. It was faucet starts producing water first. Does faucet has the capacity or quality to produce water? Does faucet has the capacity to have the electrical system in it, whatever it's called? Yeah. Does the faucet has the capacity to detect the motion? They are all arranged by a conscious, deliberate, with a quality agent, which is not of the nature of the faucet and motion and anything, by a conscious human being that we observe. But in the universe, there is great scientists. You can't really believe that this man cannot be that simple-minded. So bright man, smart man or woman. He says, unless one of them was claiming this, unless you prove that an external agent is doing it, only then will I accept that God exists. Says you have to, he says, you have to bring in the example, human being into the faucet, and within the faucet system, you have to find the human being there doing it, not externally doing it. Do you understand? The human being makes it, arranges it, and follows the order of the universe, and makes the faucet run, or on certain conditions. It's all arranged, consciously, deliberately, by an external agent. Because you cannot bring the external agent for the existence of the universe. How it is mechanisms are, they call it mechanisms, we call them order. How the order is functioning, external agent is out of the order. It is the orderer, the one who established the order. Can you find the orderer within the order? Can you find the technician within the electrical process system? That is human logic. They say, unless you demonstrate me in the lab a scientific fact that agent is doing it, I will never accept the idea of external agent, which is the source of creation of the universe. Otherwise, I am a scientist, I only see the facts. Do you see the trick? Do you see the trick at all? Are you really convinced? Yeah.
Because, so the problem with this statement is that this person is using the word external. So if it's like a contradiction, because the fact that it is external makes it impossible to run an experiment.
But if you cannot find the agent within, it means internal.
Yeah, you can't bring
Internally.
external into the internal.
So
it's
external
inherent.
cannot be internal. So what the science defines itself, internal system, and they deny or they turn blind to the external agent idea of possibility that there may be external agent, because there is no agent internally. There is no quality of any, there is no quality in the anything which apparently acts by itself. For example, tongue, teeth, shape of the mouth, lips, voice, and a small something here. What's it? Folding. That is
Vocal cords.
whatever it's called. What?
Vocal cords.
Vocal cords.
Cord.
Cord. Yeah. There is something here. So it not tremble, shakes or vibrates. Yes, that's the word. Vibrates. That's what voice comes. They say here, this is vibrates. This is the. But can they be the by itself means internal? Yeah. Sure. But don't take my word at all. By itself means internally. It is happening internally. Agent is internal. Within itself. Okay, show me the quality. Now, we haven't come to the meaning yet. My voice has meaning. We didn't come there yet. Just mechanics of it, as they call it, right? But I wouldn't call it the mechanics of it. This mechanics is happening within an order. Now, mechanics is a materialistic word. Why? Mechanics means machine within itself, acting within itself. Yep. For example, although the car is made, most of the materialist atheist scientists, if you say car is made by some engineers, right? But its mechanics is are functioning now independently from the engineer. They wouldn't feel offended. You know why? They got rid of in this way, got rid of the agent interfering in the universe and acting and creating. At the beginning, he did it, but it is out of sight, out of what? Mind. Yeah, forget about it. Do you understand the trick? Oh, man. They are so smart in making tricks, cheating themselves. That's one. The second step is everything is in progress. It means the order has been established in such a way that in order to demonstrate the agent, come back to the example of the speech. In order to demonstrate the agent, what happens, the actions or the events are taking place there. They were facts. Yes, that's correct. Fact. Don't I have a tongue? Yes. Lips, teeth, whatever. Yeah, these are facts. Okay. In order these facts function, what we have to do, we have to see the result. Again, the result is meaningful voice. Meaningful voice, not only voice, meaningful voice, perfecting, developing. It means one sentence after another sentence, after another sentence. What is happening? A book is written. Necessarily needs what? A conscious agent aiming at progression, hinting that this cannot progress by itself, impossible. Another layer of proof again. For example, do you see any tree came out suddenly out of blue? Do you see any animal comes into existence out of blue? Have you ever seen? Has anybody seen? You don't know? No answer?
I mean, sometimes flies seem like they come out of nowhere.
They are coming from the worms or some dirt and germs or cells are there. Their cells are there. When the atmosphere is right, the cell starts functioning because it is made, prepared by a conscious being in order to do that. For example, you see that faucet is not running. When you extend your hand next to it, it starts running. Prepare. Yeah, prepare. Until there is a moving object approaching to the faucet, it doesn't run. That's why sometimes a cell can remain, it is made, programmed in such a way that if the, for example, a virus stays there, and when the atmosphere is all right, they say when you get old, your body resistance cannot really keep them quiet under pressure. But the immune system says, no, you shouldn't come out. So perfect. So when the immune system does not work properly because the body is not really strong to resist, what happens is whatever virus or whatever comes out and starts functioning. It waits there for years. Potential there. It is a perfect arrangement. First, there is no mechanism, but there is a perfect order. It's not a mechanic. The word is not mechanic. It is within an order, and order requires a conscious being, and conscious being demonstrates its ability, an agent, conscious agent, demonstrates this ability, what he can do in a progressive way that the human beings can perceive a conscious action there. For example, can I write a paragraph, a sentence with one word? No. So I have to follow, right? While I am following, be careful, while I am manipulating, if you like, as a conscious being, in order to transfer my idea to those people who hear and understand and interpret and get to know, learn what I want to say to them. It's a perfect arrangement. While I am doing this, what I do, I follow progression. How? Every voice is a syllable, and every syllable is a part of the word. Every word is a part of the sentence. Every sentence is a part of the paragraph and or chapter, whatever I want to say. Right? Progression. Demonstrates what? It is not an accidental voice. It is deliberately arranged by a conscious being in order to convey the message that I have. Now, the universe is also exactly the same, deliberately arranged by a conscious being in order to convey the message he or it, whatever the agent is, wants to convey the message to conscious beings that they will understand, become aware that their existence is deliberately realized and became a fact that I exist. If you ignore all the preceding procedures and say that I'm seeing a fact here, is nothing but idiotish. Not human. Oh, it's a fact. A sentence, a voice is coming. And it happened to be meaningful, purposeful. Why? That's what I see in the lab. Faucet is functioning when you come closer to it. A moving object comes closer to it. That's it. That's what the science is all about. So when you say creation has a tendency to perfection, creation, the word creation assigns an agent who gives existence. Right? That's why materialist scientists, the purpose of materialist scientists, and the science just see how the teeth is here, how the throat is here, how vocal cord is here, whatever. But that picture takes the picture. And they say, this is the fact. Voice is coming. Meaning, it happened to be meaningful. I don't have to bother about it. Why? Because I am interested in the fact. Isn't that simple? So that is why the scientists, aim of the scientists is not really to prove here and get your share as well as you are coming on the way. Okay? Get your or she?
Okay, sure.
Okay. Their aim is not to prove that the things are happening by themselves. Be careful here. Their aim is to disprove that there is an external agent in the manifesting its qualities in the universe in a meaningful way that the conscious beings can understand and perceive. Now, what is the difference? Their aim is not to prove, disprove, because they know there's an agent that they are trying to, how I can camouflage it by using tricky language and claiming with the power of authority that, look, I know how the voice comes, or sound comes. Here the air comes, hits the vocal cord, and out, and makes, what was the word you said?
Vibration.
Vibrations, vibrates the air. When it vibrates the air, it is the sound, and the sound gets different shapes according to mouth shape, tongue movement, its relationship with up and down of the mouth, whatever, they have different names, and I'm talking about fact. When you say there must be an external agent, it's not fact. We never observed. What do you mean by this guy making the universe, creating the universe? I've never seen him making it. If you notice in our discussions, we emphasize on the importance of using a language that belief is your logical conclusion as a result of your observing the actions, as the scientists call them, facts. So observation and conclusion, reasoning. In the text somewhere, observation and reasoning used together, where I really admire this man, the author, saying observation and reasoning. Where was it? The third question says, or the congruent with some rational and observable realities. Now, rational and observable realities. Of course, if you reduce the reasoning, rational reality, to how the things are working facts, but making a trick there. What is the trick? We will repeat. What is the trick? So, rationally, I am observing the facts. And what the materialist scientist's trick, main materialist scientist's trick is
Assigning agency to the facts.
safeguard
Assigning agency to the things.
itself, saying that it is happening. They are innocent, really innocent people. They are cheaters. That it is happening. They say, no, we are not making philosophy of science. We are studying science itself. There is no philosophy. I am just telling you what the fact is by saying it is happening. So, simple-minded people. That's why observation and reasoning must be combined. Without observation, you cannot reason. Correct? Without universe, you never can talk about a nature. That is the mistake of those people who claim to believe in God. They don't refer to observation. If they don't refer to observation, which is generally the case, they don't refer to the observation. They say Quran says so, Bible says so, Torah claims this. They call it Torah scap. Because of the language, those people who claim that they believe in God or they believe in an external agent, they say in Torah that God created, started the universe, decided to create the universe. And those people who study the Quran, they say the Quran says God created this. Observation is very often, not that often, but you can find it as well. Observation is necessary. But observing for what? Collecting the data and reasoning about it. How it is coming into existence, whether I can explain its existence by itself, and I see any quality to be the agent of the action that my tongue is doing, right? Because when there's a voice, my tongue is making the voice. Does it have the quality to do it, or does it need my free will to choose? Which one? Does the tongue itself do this? Where the science says cell itself produces it. RNA transfers the message. It is as if it is a transportation company arranged by the managers and they say, no, truck is bringing the good. Yeah, why? Because I found the good on the truck. It is a scientific fact. Why are you laughing, man? It's a scientific fact. Isn't that the goods were not in the tank? Can you deny that?
Who sends the truck?
No. That's what I found. I'm interested in the fact only. So stupid. Totally key. The language itself, hides everything. So we have to watch out.
I'm just thinking out loud. I guess going back to kind of the larger question, not just the second observation, but the larger question, which is the doubts are arising from like these three aspects. How is, I guess I've understood what one is doing wrong, or what, let's say, physical sciences is doing wrong in terms of questioning reality. How is the truth side to it, or the truth in reality, actually addressing or removing any doubt that I would have in the message itself?
Okay, what the message claims, go back and observe it in the universe.
Okay, that is a source.
There is no other way.
Right.
You are a human being. You read the message. You understand what it says. You have been given the capacity to understand the message, and you also have been given the capacity to go and observe, and you also have been given the capacity to reason about the source of existence of what you have observed or what you have been observing. That's very simple. Very consistent, very human. I don't have to see the agent. No one says that this fossil system is made by an engineer. The other one says, no, I'm seeing the fact there, how it is happening by itself, of course, by itself, in bracket. So, because that's hinting how it is happening means by itself. So unless you show me the engineer doing this in front of my eyes, I would never believe it. I would never take your word. Because I am the man of fact. That's the definition of science. You know, they made their purpose to deny, to externalize, throw it away out of human mind, the agent. What they say, science talks about facts that observable. How about human rationality and reasoning and questioning? Because I am a human being. My reasoning power, my reasoning quality urges me to ask whether it can be the source of existence, the itself. So observation and reasoning coming to a conclusion, as far as I am concerned, within my own capacity, I cannot deny the necessity of the existence of an external agent in order to explain what is happening in this world as I can see as fact. Here is the earth, here is the air molecule, here is my tongue, here is the faucet, here is the sensor detecting. But I am a human being. I reason, question, reason. Don't play with the word, especially hiding the agent. When pretending as if you are not denying the reality. Pretending when you say it is happening. It comes together. They come together. They just catch it. When the information comes to one part of the cell, it gets the information, transfers the information, RNA, transfer the information to another something, and that's how they work in harmony. What is touching? Yeah, what is catching? What is transferring? Does it have the quality to transfer? Does it? I can see it. I don't have to ask this question. It is transferring. Exactly. Coming to a grocery shop, and there is a truck in front of the grocery shop, and the foods are coming out of the grocery shop and saying, although the human beings carry, but let's say automatic machine, yes, they can transfer. So you see, I can see it. Food is in the truck, and this thing is working, and food, every, how do you call, container, yeah, one by one, getting onto the something like elevator. No, not elevator, escalator. Carrying it. There is no human being there. Consciously doing. You see, the food is coming out of the truck. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? Yeah, it is coming. I can show it to you. Come and look at this. Use the microscope, see what is coming out of the truck. And you say, oh yeah, it is. Really, it is. Yeah, it is. And truck is the source of existence of the food. And escalator is the source of existence of the transportation. Right? This is how we do, ladies speak. That's why when you say creation has a tendency to perfection, there's not the creation, nature. Nature of the things themselves have the tendency for perfect. When you say, how then male and female, plants, animals, whatever, they reproduce. There's a tendency, instinct to continue their heritage, transfer their, you see? every animal, every. How come? That's what we see. Developed in this way, by itself. That's what we see means, how it's happening, how they are happening. I feel that this subject needs to be elaborated more and more and more, see the trick language. And the purpose of the people who try to disprove, not to prove, they cannot prove, but try to disprove by saying all science is interested in the facts only. We are not in legends, stories, cultural narrations. We are not interested in this kind of things. We are interested in facts. And if someone says, can it happen in this way, what they do? They just fire him from the Department of Science. That's the only way to answer. This man is obsessed by certain religious ideas. No, because he is not brave enough to accept the fact that the universe acts by itself. That's why dictatorship in science. If you don't speak with, if you write a book, how do you say, textbook, saying that there must be by the external agent that's prepared that, can you teach it at a high school? It is a crime according to American law. They sue you, indoctrinating the minds of the people. Like in Russia and China, they didn't let the young generation go to the mosques and learn what their parents want to teach them. It was illegal. Young people taking your child to the masjid or to the mosque or to the church was illegal. Only old people can go there, not the young ones. Go and see China now. Russia, perhaps, but China. They don't allow. But they say this is not against human rights. Of course, everybody has the right, must have the right to educate their young as they want. Yeah? Can you teach a science book? Changing the language. Facts are the same facts. Changing the language. Not it's happening. It doesn't have the quality. It must be arranged in this way by an external conscious agent. Can you teach them to your child? It is illegal. It's illegal, definitely. If the teacher mentions while he's, now the existing order. If the biology teacher mentions that, look, it is the wonderful work of God, the thing is, you cannot do this, the second day, this man will be sued by the parents saying that he is teaching my child not external science, external reality. Now, I'm confused, attract my attention. It is teaching something which cannot be scientifically proven. You're saying that there's an external to the universe, everything, agent who has given existence to the world. That's not scientific reality. Do you see the definition? We are all products of this mentality. Oh, no, too early. No, I have to. Okay, got it? We have to wake up, actually. We have to be brave enough to speak out. speak up. Any questions? Yeah.
It's more of a comment, but maybe you can help me if it's correct or not. I'm interested in what you mentioned about the second layer of how things come into existence or happen in progression. And I'm just thinking that it's really interesting because it'd be taken as, one way to be taken is that because they happen in progression, then the previous step causes the next step to happen.
Mm.
Or it could be taken as, like you were saying, that it's a demonstration of, instead of just like making things happen like this without like, within that progressive order.
Yeah, without order.
Without, yeah.
Order.
Then
Can you
that's,
say that? Without order, comfortably?
yeah, of
Not
course.
with orderly happening, but without order, just out of common things.
Right, exactly. So that is a second layer to prove that if at any one point in time things would happen accidentally, it's not possible that they would continue to happen accidentally in order to reach. I thought that was a kind of a new point for me.
Yeah, that's why you don't see very commonly expressed. The order in the universe has two aspects, two layers, acting in harmony with each other. Spatial order, the universe, and also change in the order within an order. And there's no contradiction. Two orders are functioning at the same time, but there's no contradiction. And one of them, I see here how this unconscious being coordinates itself with another unconscious being in order to realize the process. And it is now. And also how this unconscious meta is making a progress in time. Is what I mean by time? Making a progress in future. For example, the simple examples are demonstrated to us in the creation. We don't know the beginning of the universe. Even if you can calculate a number, what does it mean? Yeah. But what we know, the examples here, out of seed, tree grows. The seed is arranged in such a way that it will grow in a certain way, within an order, progress, and it dies. And another seed from the dead, or now dead, but before it wasn't, tree, there was a seed again. And this seed will be a starting point again in other progress. Human beings, animals, plants, maybe I don't know. People are not saying this, but I feel that the universe is expanding, they say, and also it is because of the signals they get. How do you say? Whatever, there's a technical word for it. I don't know, I don't remember now. So they know that it is really expanding. But this expansion, in the language of this author of this text that we are studying, it says it is developing like a tree in time, growing like a tree grows. Universe is also developing or perfecting gradually within time, like the tree grows. It's a simple way of telling the same truth. Universe. So it must be, the universe must be expanding by conclusion, and then taking the small examples with my experience here. The baby grows, the cell grows into something. Now, they are not themselves, but order is established in this way. The universe also growing in the same way. So again, this author says everything reaches its peak in perfection and then decreases its perfection, loses its perfection to prepare other, if you like, facts to take place. And another progress, example of progress is going. Like this, this universe also will reach its peak, or has already reached its peak. We don't know. They are talking about black holes, etc. I don't know them. I'm not technical. I'm not in the technical field. I just question the reasoning and the language, tricking the language. Now, is it really true what they say? So, anyways, maybe it is declining or it is increasing. We don't. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It is taking within a perfect order and progress, either increasing or decreasing. For example, human beings, when we see human beings, animals, and plants, in our observation, within our observation, what do they do? They grow and they develop into death, demonstrating that they cannot sustain their existence. If it is a living being, they cannot sustain their own life. It means nothing is the result of their own power, their own choice. It is sustained. It is arranged. Given the existence in a progressive way, and again, continuing the existence in a not progress, but decreasing. And then disintegrating, becoming a compost. And the Quran says the same thing. The universe will be collapse, disintegrate, and become a compost. Out of this compost, a new tree. It's a circle. A new tree is, in the language of the Quran, another kind of creation. Another kind of creation. According to human capacity, some things are there, it's another subject. But we understand that everything is taking place in an extremely fine-tuning within the space wise order and time-wise order, perfectly arranged with no clash. Space-wise order, time-wise order. Do you understand? You don't see, when I'm wondering why people are not mentioning about time-wise order in the universe. Usually you see the Earth, you see the sun, you see the moon. How the moon is that really? They say a big, huge asteroid hit the Earth a piece. And took the piece out and it started flying away and then turned and then became round and it was moon. How about the relationship between sun, the moon, and the earth? So the moon is a perfect planet. Tend to be like this. Don't worry. Science will explain.
Science doesn't explain.
Yeah, trick. So it's a perfect planet for you, for human beings. Okay, this is how they talk. Usually the relationship, if the earth was a bit closer to the sun or further away from the sun, its location, life will not be possible. And the scientists say, if your argument is this, I get the answer. Now, that's why life happened on it. Because it was the right position. There is no need to look for an agent, they say, if you speak in this way. That is the mistake, unfortunately. Anyway, what we have to take notice that the order has two dimensions, always, space, time. And they expect it to crash, because if you make this machine, and this machine has its own order now, okay, you start with this, but it will continue to change, and the order will remain in its entirety space-wise, as well as change direction-wise. It is very complicated. It is how do you say, only eternal knowledge and power and quality to arrange the universe in this way. Matter is nothing, not these complicated things that will come out of matter. Even the simplest thing cannot come out of matter, let alone how the universe in it is every single spot, fact, is acting in a perfect, or coming into existence in a perfect arranged way. That's why Christians say intelligent design. Quran says intelligent, deliberate creation, not design only. But I repeat this, I'm admiring the Christians to struggle to demonstrate their belief as truth, and science has lots of tricks in it. They are trying to
Dismantle.
unravel it or disclose it.
Decipher.
Disclose it, demonstrate that they are making trick, but never use our language here. They use their different language, which is quite simple and easy to challenge. That's why scientists are not satisfied with the Christian defense. They say intelligent design. They are working. They have huge organizations. They have scientists to support, and they have many publications. Now, of course, it seems to be that Quranic view, which is intelligent creation. There is no work. No work by a layman, by a philosopher, by a scientist who is observing the facts and coming to a conclusion. No work. It is a shame on us. That hurts me a lot. No work. We are stupid to teach our young generation how to read the Quran and memorize some pieces of the Quran and make them. It will not continue at all. Impossible. It will collapse. No work, no struggle. Some people made some attempt towards the end of the last century, and there was a leader of this attempt. They killed him. They said, we don't know, but of course we don't know. And he was killed, murdered in his house while he's sleeping. He and his wife was killed. In America, he was trying to encourage people to do it. It doesn't work like this. Come on, we have to come up. And we have to produce our own schools, our own books, or textbooks. And then he was killed. Assassinated. In his house while he was sleeping at night. And together, he and his wife. This was innocent woman, but also she may have some weakness. In America, very free country, there are lots of serious matters that we have to reflect on. Anyways, after his death, that current also died away, and I don't see any other attempt coming with a theory, at least with a theory, an attempt, lots of people all coming from so-called Muslim country backgrounds, the populations, they are into science. But what they do, as soon as they get the qualification, they jump into profession and money making. They are not concerned with what do I believe, it is true or not. And if it is true, how can I prove it, demonstrate it, use my information or my, how do you say, academic background? No. They just, I don't know, get their payroll running, and alhamdulillah, I am praying. I never miss my Umrah. I go to Umrah and Hajj. Yeah. I don't go for holiday like those local people do. I go for Umrah to Mecca. A religious scientist. It is so sad, saddening. Okay, one word we studied today, the significance of this word. Creation has a tendency to perfection, correct? But creation. But creation. That's it. It's a word to me. On the train, I was studying. I went to paragraph. I said, if you finish this paragraph today, that will be. But I said, underline it. I said, that will take us more than that. Because we need to emphasize on the importance of this kind of science. Otherwise, we just say, oh, that's correct. Yeah, it's easy, comfortable. Mashallah, I am a strong believer. I never miss a prayer. And also, I take my family, the young generation, for Umrah. Yeah. And they expect that their family will be living strongly by seeing some black stones. Because for them, it's a black stone. Take the young child for Umrah, and they say, well, a boy or girl grown up at 16 years old and take to Mecca. They don't go to Kaaba, they go to Mecca. So I make the distinction that they go to Mecca. And also showing them there is a building here, they say, so what? And the people are turning around. Why are they turning around? For a 16 years old, 15 years old boy or girl, why are they turning around? It is the way you turn around 7 times. Not 8, not 6, not 7. And you have to start from this corner, not that corner. No! And the child says, okay, there must be something magical. I don't know. My parents say so. And the people are doing that. So exciting for them. Something funny. To see something funny is going on here. And they think that they have fulfilled their religious duty. I don't think this ummah has never been that ignorant as they are today. According to the life conditions, within this. Now, let's say a person had $100 that time, they spent $50 for religious purposes. Okay, to understand that $50, just $50. Yes, this person has fulfilled at least half of his mission. $50, half of his mission. But now we don't have $100, we have $100 million. And we spend $100. They said, those people, old people, they used to spend $50. I spend 100. I'm doing more than what they did. Now I downloaded the app, recites the Quran on my son's or my daughter's iPhone. He or she keeps repeating, listening to it. Before they didn't have this opportunity. Alhamdulillah, we have. That's what's happening. Yeah, we have to wake up. I don't know. We cannot do anything more than this. We just have to say, and express the need for it. Yeah. They have not come into being all of a sudden. Here is as well in this paragraph. Yeah, I underlined that one. And also, this means that in the last sentence of the paragraph I am reading, this means that a science which is still in the stage of formation will be a developed one in the future, but not the last stage. Will develop, yeah, will develop, and provide the basis for new developments and the birth of new sciences. Never finishes. Why? Never finishes. No one will finish. Why? Because the creation is taking place in such a way that you discover one thing, more complicated things lie under that. You discover this one, even more complicated things lie under that. This creation is really, really amazing. It is impossible to comprehend. It is impossible to come to the end. Comprehend the totality. It is impossible to come to an end. So science has to develop. Why? The creation is taking place in such a wonderful way, amazing way, that there order within order, within order, within order in each event. And it is impossible to come to the end. It is an obvious sign that the source of existence must be absolute. Must be absolute. Inshallah, we can continue. Because when I started thinking about Asr, Wednesday class, and the problem is time, and I concentrate on it, and it is also here, the subject, on Saturday discussion. So I combine them together. Okay, Alhamdulillah, I think we should stop. I have to stop. I don't know you. Yeah. It's 12 o'clock. Wow. Then you understand science will have no end. Yeah. Why the progress has no end? Why the source of progress has no end? By definition, and so far, we can see that the more you discover, the more complicated and fascinating the creation becomes. So we have a huge document now that we can use the people with a good intention, not to have a negative intention, to disprove. No, don't have the attitude of disprove. Just see what you are observing and observe it and reason about it. Don't imitate what you have observed. Reason about it. Now, the simple, here are the glasses. So this has two hands. What are they called hands? These parts? Handles, two handles, and one frame on the top, and then an optical glass in the middle, and appropriate to eyesight. Yep, that's it. That's what it is. I'm talking about the fact. Yeah, you're talking about the fact. But when you say it happened to be as I observed it, that's a philosophy. Of course, this is called theological materialism. Have you heard of this expression? Theological materialism. It means materialist, but theology. Why theology? Because they are talking about something that's not observable. It itself. Do you understand? This is a belief without proof. No rationality behind it. That's why it is. They coined this language recently, not recently, last century. They coined this theological materialism. Okay, I admire them, really. I don't blame them. I don't blame these guys. These people are stuck. The Christian theologians are trying, man. The Quran students are sleeping, going on Umrah. Of course, depends on the people. Some people cannot do but go on Umrah or Hajj. Some people, that is their choice. But new generation cannot learn the truth by going to Mecca and spending most of their time